Good afternoon. My name is Mark Bogan. I'm Mayor of Broward County, and we are here today at the Emergency Operations Center monitoring the developments of Hurricane Dorian. With me today are Broward School Superintendent Bob Runcie, Broward County Sheriff's Office Lieutenant Colonel David Holmes, Broward Fire Chief Joe Fernandez, Florida Power and Light Juliet Roliak, and Gino Santorio, CEO of Broward Health. Today, we want to give you an updated information on the developments that have taken place. First, Broward County has declared a local state of emergency. This gives Broward County the authority to take a variety of actions and decisions that will protect the public. Second, at this time, we expect the storm to affect this area no sooner than Sunday night or Monday morning. Again, that means that we do not expect any effects from the storms to come here until at least Sunday night or Monday morning. This will be, wherever it lands, a very serious storm. Third, we ask the public to continue preparing for the worst, hope for the best. What that means is assume that you'll have no power. Get items for food that are not requiring refrigeration. Bread, peanut butter, canned soup, canned goods, tuna, those types of products that do not require refrigeration. Flashlight and batteries, it's important that you have that. Water and stores are still being restocked. So if you went to a store, Walmart or wherever it be, Walmart or the local grocery store, please, they will restock. We've been told they will restock food. Last, you should have 2 weeks of medication from your local pharmacy. That is because if roads are blocked and you can't get to a pharmacy, we ask that you have 2 weeks of medication. With respect to shelters, we have 33 shelters, including those that have accommodations for pets and special needs. However, the shelters are not open, and we will not know probably until tomorrow when they will open. The locations of the shelters, you can find those at www.broward.org/hurricanes. You can also call during the daytime our 311 number. We ask that you also have a plan for evacuation. There is no evacuation order. There is no evacuation recommendation, but we're asking you just to be prepared in case there is one. Shutters. If you have shutters, please start putting up your shutters. And also, if you have loose items like patio furniture or any loose items outside your home, please secure them. Please bring them inside. The Coast Guard has also asked that if you have a boat or any aquatic type item to tie it down, and also please do not utilize the beaches or the water in any way over the weekend. The Coast Guard is saying that the tides are going to be coming in higher and bigger, so stay out of the water. Anyway, I want to thank Governor DeSantis and his staff for constantly communicating their desire to help us, Commissioner Nikki Freed, who's offered their help, and Congressman Ted Deutsch, who's offered his assistance to me if we need it from the federal government. And with that, I would like to ask Fire Chief Joe Fernandez to come on up.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. Joe Fernandez, Fire Chief, Broward Sheriff's Office, Department of Fire Rescue. I'm here with Lieutenant Colonel Holmes, representing Sheriff Tony. I want to assure the public that we have been preparing over the last few days, and we are prepared to respond to the needs of the county. The Sheriff's Office is the arm for law enforcement, fire rescue, and corrections for Broward County government. Currently, we've completed our service enhancement plans. We will be having additional detention personnel to staff the security needs at shelters that are opened. The Department of Law Enforcement will be bringing in additional personnel to be able to respond to rapid deployment needs and also adult congregate facility checks to make sure that that vulnerable community is looked after. Fire Rescue has also prepared a staffing plan to add additional fire suppression and emergency medical services units, and along with teams to cut our way if there is any debris to reach persons in imminent peril. Additionally, the public should know that we will send units out, but once sustained winds get beyond a certain level, we have to make a judgment call depending on the emergent need of what's going on. So once we get to about 75 miles an hour, if that were to occur, some responses may have to stop for a while, and that's where the preparedness piece and the self-sustaining piece is important for the public. Again, I'm going to pass it to Lieutenant Colonel Holmes, but please be assured that the men and women of the Broward Sheriff's Office are prepared to serve you.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Colonel Holmes, Patrol Services, Broward County Sheriff's Office. It's very important during these stressful times for the residents here in the community to exercise patience. We know that the food store lines are long, the gas lines are long. We have deputies that are here to assist you. With the pending storm, we plan on bringing in our detectives, doubling up our units, making sure we have adequate security for the residents here in Broward County. Very, very important for you to exercise patience because we're here for you. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Broward Schools Superintendent Robert Runcie.
Thank you, Mayor Bogan. We will continue normal activities today, as was mentioned earlier. That includes all athletic activities and programs into the evening. Starting tomorrow, all district-related activities, including athletic games, practices, professional development and learning activities, they will be closed starting tomorrow, Saturday, through Monday, September 2nd. Just a reminder, we were originally closed for Monday, September 2nd in honor of Labor Day, and that will continue. Later this evening, I will issue an official state of emergency for the district, and we'll close all district schools and facilities effective 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning, and that will allow the process to move forward so that we can prepare our schools to serve as shelters in the community. That's pretty much our update right now, and we'll continue to work with the county. Again, you can go to the Broward Schools website, browardschools.com, Storm Resource Center, to get additional information. We will also continue to provide updates here and through social media as well. Again, I encourage everyone to be as safe as possible. Make sure you take care of yourselves and prepare, but also look out for your friends, your neighbors, and especially the elderly who are out there who may need some assistance.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce now Florida Power and Light Director of External Affairs, Juliet Rolak.
Thank you, Mayor Bogan. FPL has been working with many of our partners here long before this storm to make sure that we're all prepared together to have our community be more resilient. So we have actually, FPL, been doing a lot of infrastructure improvements. Many of you in your communities have seen those concrete poles going up. And what that will mean for us is that we will be able to restore power far more quickly because those poles can withstand very high winds, and we'll need that in this coming storm. So we are here for you. Our command center is up and running. My fellow employees all are in their storm roles, and we are working hard to make sure that after that storm hits, that we are all ready to get to work to restore you as soon as possible. We already have over 13,000 employees and workers ready in place to restore your power. We are also increasing that number in time with other utilities from across this country who are going to help us to make sure that we get you back as soon as possible. Being in communication is probably the most key thing. We invite you to visit fpl.com. There's a power tracker there where you can see where outages occur and as we are restoring. We also ask you to report any wires down that you find, and please stay away from any wires that you see. They're very dangerous, and you should assume that they are energized. During this time, we are all in this together. We have our families too, my own family, that we're assuring are safe and sound, that I can be out here at the Storm EOC Center providing you information. Please do the same for your families. Get out there. We have a little extra time. Take advantage of it. Take care of all the little things that you can so that you will be as comfortable as possible during this storm. Thank you.
I'd like to now introduce the CEO of Broward Health, Gino Santorio.
Thank you, Mayor Bogan. I'm here with our Senior Vice President of Operations, Mr. David Clark. Broward Health has been working with local and state authorities and officials to monitor the situation. As the area's trauma services provider, Broward Health trains and prepares for all of these types of events year-round, so we are fully prepared to provide the best level of care for everyone should they need it. I would echo Mayor Bogan's advice to go out there and ensure that you get a refill on prescriptions. The governor's executive order has allowed for that and has loosened up the requirements around refills, so please do so. And we are also prepared at this time, should we need to activate our our EOC Emergency Center, we can do that. We're working closely with our safety net partners in the South Broward Hospital District as well, so that Broward Health can activate simultaneously and take any patients that may need those services. So thank you, please stay safe, and we are here for you.
I'd like to thank all of our Broward agencies and everybody here who is working together to make our community safe, and we're open for any questions that you may have. If there's any more questions, yes.
Question for the fire chief,
Sure.
Mr. Fernandez. You mentioned that you've completed service enhancement plans. Can you give a little bit more information as to what that entails?
Yes, so we sit down as a senior policy group with all our corrections, law enforcement, and fire rescue personnel, and we look at what the potential service needs might be. And for example, for fire rescue, we add some additional fire suppression units, EMS transportation units. In the law enforcement group, we add additional deputies that can respond to evolving events so that we have a quicker reaction time for surges and needs. And then our Department of Detention personnel also come in to augment the security element inside the shelters that are opened at the decision of the county.
See, I have a question for you. You mentioned that you're going to be shutting the schools officially tomorrow at 6 a.m. and starting to prepare them at that point to be shelters. What does that take to kind of do that transition, and what goes into making it into a shelter?
Yeah, so we have a number of facilities which we've coordinated over the years along with the county and other agencies to serve as shelters, and we will work with the county in terms of them identifying what the needs are, and we'll open up shelters accordingly. We have a number of different types of shelters. We have general population shelters. We have shelters that also will double as general population and pet-friendly. We also have special needs shelters as well that will accommodate those who may have some health concerns. And so we've done it before, and so we just essentially make sure that we're working with our school staff, our maintenance folks who are out in the field now, making sure all the necessary preparations are in order. These are schools that have particular hardening capabilities. Also, high-capacity generators are available there as well. So we're prepared and ready to open up our facilities to serve this community.
One question, it may be for fire rescue. Can you expand a little bit on people with disabilities and special needs? I know there's a number people can call. Can you talk us through what that process would be in the event that somebody needed assistance evacuating or getting to a shelter?
So as part of the county plan, there are special needs shelters for persons that are electrically dependent on medical devices. Obviously, the 911 process and the fire rescue system would be there for any emergent needs as well, to transport those patients and anyone that is having issues with medication shortages. A lot of times, and again, we stressed this before, preventable accidents can happen. The number of trauma events from shuttering, from preparing, traffic accidents, all that will possibly increase. And it's something that falls within our regular scope of services, but it's enhancing transportation to special needs shelters when they are opened. And then again, if it falls into the emergent area, fire rescue will respond as it usually does.
For the fire chief. Sir, will you be using, or once the state of emergency is in place, will they be deploying the citizen volunteer groups such as CERT and the various COP programs to assist? And then also, will they be using amateur radio operators in the shelters to help communicate?
I would defer to someone in the county about the amateur radio services. Communications are much advanced. Amateur radio is still a strong part of communication, but with social media and mobile platforms, that's a very potent additional communication system that we have. As far as community involvement, we have various CERT or community teams that are trained in our service areas and in the municipal areas that we serve as well. We work with those community personnel, train them in light search and rescue, and they become an essential part of expanding our capabilities. So yes.
I also want to point out to the public, we've had a lot of questions of whether people say that should we drive to Orlando or Tampa or up north, and I want everybody to remember what happened in 2017 with Hurricane Irma, where the storm was projected to go straight up the East Coast. It then deviated. It went to the west side of Florida and then cut through Orlando up to Jacksonville. And so these storms could look one direction and then go in another direction. So we're waiting to see exactly when and where we can give a best prediction of where that storm's going to hit, where it's going. And so, again, as it was just said, be patient. Tomorrow we will be giving 2 more press conferences as we learn more information. And with that, thank you for your time. Have a good day.